I've muted you now. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Right, welcome tonight to the team call. First of all, we're going to invite Vanessa. Vanessa was coming today for a visit with her lovely daughter Scarlett, and so I thought, great, let's grab Vanessa. We all love hearing from Vanessa. It's been a while since I've had Vanessa on our team call, so she's going to start us off actually with a bit of oil knowledge. So a bit of oil help in this beautiful sunshine that isn't here, but hopefully it will come back again soon. So she's going to help us know what we can do in the sun, so that'll be lovely. And then after her, I'll just explain the next part of the evening. So I'm going to swap places with the beautiful Vanessa. Thanks, Vanessa.
Excuse me.
Hi, it's nice to see some faces I recognize. Hi, everyone. So Rebecca's asked me to talk a little bit about the new sun care creams that we've got available from doTERRA, and a little bit about getting in the sun, a little bit about sun protection, because I think it's a really, a lot of us have been waiting for the doTERRA to bring out a sun care range for a very, very long time. We have been asking for it. So it's a really important thing to know a little bit about and have a little bit of confidence with the products that we've got available. So for me, getting in the sun is so important. We don't have enough sun in England at all. 6 months of the year, we hardly see any sun. So when it's out, it's really important that people get out in the sun and get vitamin D. We've got an epidemic of vitamin D deficiency in this country because we do not have enough sun. You're very lucky, Jose, in Portugal, that you have so much sun. Look, he's looking very happy now. But for the rest of us, it's really important that we have safe sun. And I think what happens a lot in England is we get a couple of days of boiling hot 40, the high 30-degree weather, or 20, anything in the high 20s, and we're out in it baking ourselves to the point of sunburn. So it's really important that we get vitamin D because it basically acts like a hormone within the body, and we have a receptor site on every single cell in the body for vitamin D. So from that, we can take that it pretty much influences every single health condition and every single disease that we have today. So you'll not find, there's not a single health condition that is not affected by vitamin D. It affects, and most of us know that because in the winter we start suffering with more health conditions. You get more anxiety, more depression, lower immune system. That's why we get the prevalence of sickness and unwell and health conditions, and also the seasonal affective disorder. So most of us know that we need to have more time in the sun and the importance of it. And it's really important that we get that midday sun, and that we also get some time in the sun during the summer. I will say that actually you'll find that you'll burn less the more healthier you are with your diet. I have certainly noticed this. It's a real health implication. The less you have of, say, seed oils or inflammatory foods, the less likely you are to burn. So whereas I used to burn when I was younger, I don't really burn. I've got a much higher tolerance and I don't need so much suntan cream. However, if you're going out all day in the sun or you're going on holiday, then you do need to wear some suntan cream, because what you don't want to do is burn. We don't want blistering or burning, and you see that a lot in the UK, where people have just gone out and totally overdone the sun, the sun time, and they've got high levels of burning. So you might know, or you might not know, that there is an SPF available in a lot of the food grade oils that we can consume, but also in the essential oils. And if you were making them before, like many of us were, it's a little bit of a complicated process getting the emulsification of oils, and also the zinc oxide, that's the mineral that really protects your skin. Now it's going to be so much easier because we've got the doTERRA products. So getting really, really clean sun cream, there are some available, but so the ones that I used to use before, but none of them had essential oils in them. So it's really nice to have these products available. So if you didn't know, some of the oils that are available today, like carrot seed oil, your raspberry seed oil, those ones are some of the highest. They have a factor of 28 to 50 SPF, so they're really, really high. And then you've got ones like avocado oil, coconut oil. Coconut oil is one I used to use all the time, have an SPF of 10. And then even our essential oils have SPF in them. So things like the lavender, the peppermint, even things like tea tree, lemongrass, they have an SPF of between 5 and 7. So these all have incredible sun protective capabilities. And one of the best things that you can use in your natural sun care is the zinc oxide, which is a natural mineral, which is really protective for the skin. You'll see that doTERRA talk about a non-nano zinc oxide. And what that means is when you've got the regular zinc oxide, when it's the nano kind, it absorbs very quickly into the skin. The non-nano means that it's sitting on the skin. So you've got all the protective capabilities of this mineral as an SPF, protecting your skin from burning. So you've got incredible food grade oils in there, but you've also got the essential oils. And then we've also got the beautiful after sun care. So I don't know if any of you have ever had serious sunburn and use the essential oils. They are incredible. If you get sunburn, I've only done it once to my daughter when we were in Costa Rica, and she didn't wear any suntan cream. She refused to go in the shade, and she did burn a little part of her back. Oh, it's awful. And we used the oils that are in the after sun. So we used Salubel, helichrysum, lavender, and then the peppermint is super, super cooling, and lots of aloe vera. And you'll see that in a lot of the after sun as well. So you've got the peppermint for the cooling, you've got the helichrysum, which is the oil that's going to help to regenerate the skin. And then you've got all the oils like that you would expect, like frankincense, all these ones that are collagen producing. So they're going to help to repair and plump the skin after you've had some time in the sun. So if you have had too much exposure, you've also got those really protective oils in the after sun as well. So really great products. Have any of you got them already? Show us hands if you've got them. Yeah, cool. So lots of people have got them and tried them already, and they'll smell really nice. So I think that pretty much covers it, right? Okay, Andy, back to you.
Thanks, Vanessa. Okay, lovely having Vanessa back, huh? Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next part of our call, which is about the game changers. So I'm going to just give a quick introduction, and then how we're going to have it is I'm going to play some music, which I've worked out how to do, and I'm going to post in the chat some comments from those participants of the game changers that aren't sharing tonight. We couldn't have everyone share tonight, and I wanted you to hear just from a few people the experience for them of the game changers, because this has now become a new part of my mission, really. Obviously, I'm so passionate about the oils, and after doing my first Game Changers event, I came out really passionate about personal development and the importance of liberating people from their own minds, from their own selves, from their past, creating a default past and not even knowing it, really, how we get stuck and don't even realize it. And the experience that Nathan and I had was so transformational. I'd say one of the most transformational things I've ever done. And I personally have done quite a few personal development things. Nathan hadn't done any. So we had the two different extremes. And Nathan, we were both a bit dubious about it, to be honest. And we both came out just absolutely buzzing, having such huge breakthroughs that we were like, this is what we need to now bring to others. So like when you first try the oils and you have this incredible experience, you're like, I just can't help to share this now. And this is now something I can't not talk about because it's now my responsibility to talk about it. This is how we both feel now about this particular event. So we don't want you to just hear it from us. I'll give you a little bit more information in a second, but we're going to have 6, I think, people So we're going to have, I'll introduce them now and then we'll just kind of flow into it. So we'll have Ali and Kev, our lovely Ali and Kev are going to start us off sharing their experience. They went together, which is actually really lovely because it's slightly annoying sometimes, isn't it, when your partner does something and they come back and go, oh, I learned about, that I learned about that at the weekend. And, it's quite nice to sometimes go through the journey together. And certainly for Nathan and myself, that was really lovely and to support each other. And so it would be nice to hear from Ali and Kev. And then we're going to hear from Nicolette, who's going to share after them. And then we've got Anna, you've heard from before, Amelia, who some of you may not know. You probably have seen her because she's a diamond in the UK. She's not on our team. She's a really lovely friend of mine. We bonded in Bulgaria over a cancelled flight and felt like we were going to die at one point because the flight went all crazily wrong in the air. We had to come down. So that was a bonding experience. So she's going to speak tonight as well. And then we've got Karina. And then Daniel, who you all know, is going to wrap us up, and then I'll just kind of end it at the end. So that's how it's going to go. Just briefly then, before I play the music, and I'm going to put in the chat, so join the music, enjoy the music. It's one of my motivational songs at the moment, so I picked that for that reason. And I'm going to put in the chat some comments from the other participants who are not going to be actually sharing with us tonight. So you can read through their experiences as well. So as I said, the Gamechangers for us was so transformational that we came out and we thought, right, let's see if Devon will even do this. He doesn't, he does his one a year in the UK, he does a few in America. This is a guy who is a very sought after coach. He coaches a lot of the NBA players. That's kind of, he loves basketball, and like everything in life, to be successful in anything, it's the mind. And I'm sure anyone that's done anything in life and been doing doTERRA for more than a couple of weeks will know that the mind has a massive impact on our success in everything. And so basketball is, he just, he goes and he's the go-to coach in the NBA. Anyway, so he charges $200,000 for one-to-one coaching is what Devon charges. And though he's always been very passionate, he comes from like the Bronx of New York, he's very grounded, and he's been passionate about making his knowledge, his skill set available to the masses, because that is where he first got his transformation. So he went to a similar event that he could just about afford because he didn't have very much money. And that's impacted him so much that he's committed to himself that he will always make this available to everyone, which is why he created the Gamechangers, where you go in, there's like 40 of you in the room. That's intimate enough, and the people that share will testify of this, that you can't hide in that room. It's a very much an experience rather than a sit down, eat your popcorn, relax and enjoy watching someone teach you about personal development. It is not that. You go through a process. It's not for the faint-hearted, and if you're ready and you want to up level your game in every area of your life, then this is the kind of thing that's for you. This is really something that will help you identify what's really holding you back and what's really coming up on repeat in your life and showing up in every area of your life and preventing you from really being, the person that you really can be, and helping as many people as you really have the potential to. So it's about up leveling you so you can then be of even more service to yourself, your loved ones, and your family. And that's what it's about. So we decided, yes, let's do this. So Devon said in his very committed way, great, well, you just pay me the 50 grand in a month's time and I'll commit to you. And we're like, okay, great. And just, we don't have 50 grand lying around. I know we've hit presidential diamond. We're actually hitting more blue at the moment. And that's not the kind of cash we have just sitting there. So we had to invest. We had to take a leap of faith. And we had to scrape the barrel a lot and be very creative in finding that. And then we began our process of really calling people that we felt could really, that we thought were ready for this and would, really benefit. And just, we've had lots of our family now go to this, lots of our friends, it's something that we just want to share with everyone that we care about, and really felt this was something that was really, would be so beneficial to the doTERRA community, especially in the UK. We really felt strongly that the UK our mindset sometimes is, you know, we're not as, we can just do anything like the US seem to be. And I don't know what it's like in Portugal, but, you know, we have this kind of, we kind of don't, I think sometimes see ourselves as these invincible beings, and then we as sometimes the Americans do anyway. So we thought this would be great. So we did that, we put ourselves out there, and we filled that room in November, and it was such an incredible experience, just seeing how others went through their transformational experience. And just going into that event, just so you know, I said to Nathan, this has been great, and I'm so glad we've done this, and we're not going to do it again. Because, like, you know, when you put on an event, you do an oils event, and you've taken that energy and you put yourself out there, and it takes something of you, right? And you're like, oh, that was good, yes, great, done, tick. And then at the end of the event, everyone was just so like, has so many great breakthroughs, and we just saw the effects and the transformation on others. And it was even in a different way more impactful than just going through it by yourself, right? Having it on your own. And then most people in that room were saying, let's do it again, Devon, let's do it again, let's commit you to next year. And Devon looked at us and we were like, all right, let's do it. So this time it's not just me inviting you, it's a whole bunch of us that are experiencing, we're living it. And just so you know, it's not like you don't come out that next level, you come out with the keys, you come out with so much more awareness, and you're on a journey that you cannot ever return, right? It's like when you open up that Pandora's box and you realize the things you didn't know that are going to take you to the next level. And that's what this is about. It's about kickstarting that journey in a really intense, incredible, beautiful way. And so that's what we're doing. So the Gamechangers link is on the Silver Blossom. I know I've put it on there. I'll put it on in the chat as well. So the investment is $1,300 for the weekend. So it's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning. So 2.5 days. And so at the very beginning, really, you're already changing. I feel like it's part of it to go, do you know what? I'm choosing to invest money and time in myself. I'm choosing to put myself first. And this is kind of what the Gamechangers is all about. It's teaching you that actually, to really be the best service to anyone in your world, it starts with you. And this is where it begins. So listen to these experiences tonight, enjoy, you'll pick up some inspiration anyway, even if you choose not to go to the Gamechangers. And I invite all of you that feel a stirring and think, do you know what, I'm stuck, I need a change, I'm ready for a change, then this really could be the thing that you're looking for. So with that all said, I'm now going to play the music and put the comments into the chat so you can read them. And then after that, we'll just, if Ali and Kev, if you can just unmute yourselves, and then we'll just go through it. And then Nicolette afterwards, and everyone follows. And then I'll just wrap up at the end. Okay, let me do this.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory.
Okay, I think that actually worked, didn't it?
It did.
Amazing. Okay, off you go. Thanks, Ali.
Bex, would you like us to start sharing?
Yes, actually, just quickly, Vanessa pointed out, if you want to save that chat, you can just click on the 3 dots on your chat thing, and then it says save chat on there, so it'll save to your computer if you want to save that. So that's a great tip from Vanessa. Thanks, Vanessa. Yeah, thanks, Ali and Kev.
Okay, fab. So we had the blessing to go to the Gamechangers a year a bit ago now. And to me, it's really hard. To us, it's been really hard to put it into words, what you actually go through in the transition within yourself. So I am going to share from notes actually today. Hopefully that's okay, just to try and make it coherent, to share what we actually experienced. We've been to 2 events with Devon now. So we've been to 2 really, really different ones with that game changer experience. So we wanted to share a little bit about both and what it meant to us and what it's done, to try and help you kind of see what's there for you or what's there for your teams or how it could relate. So for us, it was a transformational experience. It wasn't something where you sit there and you take notes and you just go, oh, that could work and I could apply that within my business, and there we are, there's a checklist for success, there's 7 steps of what I'll do. It was more like bringing about a change within us. So I was trying to share, when I was making notes, thinking about it today, really how that happened for us, and it's very different on everybody's journey. But the first thing I would say is it's got to be your own journey to understand and benefit. But the first event, my biggest experience actually happened on the first day, and we were different. You know, things happened. There's a 2.5-day experience there. For me, it was unlocking the understanding that I didn't have to keep reliving the past. I had a difficult childhood for different reasons in the parenting style that was my parents' best thing they could bring about for me. And I didn't have to keep reliving that and existing in that space. Actually, I was free to create a new way going forward and release all of that. And that might seem really basic to many people, but to me, it was a massive release on the first day to just let all of that go and feel free to create the best me from there, the best me as a parent, the best me as a daughter, even still. So that let me draw a line in the sand, and that let me then be open to everything I could be taught, which maybe was the first time I'd been open to that for a long time, to be honest. And there's lots of shifts that have happened since then. So what it allowed me to do was stand strong in my authenticity and know that I was okay to have my own opinion, and that my being wasn't dependent on the opinion of my parents, for example, but others as well. And he takes you through a whole process. Like, on day one, you start releasing some of that, but you start understanding where you've been drawing the line in your sand, and you start understanding how you can create your future. And then on day two, and different timings happen for different people, but on day two, you start pulling things a little bit together and understanding what your creation is maybe falling apart a little bit. That was me. That's okay, because you're safe in that space. So for me, the whole first experience was kind of created around that, and understanding that since then, in dynamics with my parents, particularly, that's been for me. It can be in your business, it can be everywhere. I was able to not necessarily get involved with the story I think they have and their emotion in that sense, and just be free to stand in what I think they need to do to look after themselves. They're a lot more elderly now, and just be really, really strong and really secure in that. So he gave me that outside of the business. I went there for business, but I got so much more from it. So it's all the dynamics and all the relationships in your life. The second thing was understanding my own leadership style. I think I've always been afraid to lead. I think I've been always trying to stay in the shadows a little bit, and understanding that, you know, with my team, and probably many of them are on here as well, I would try and overprotect them. Like, I would solve everything for them. I would try and make sure nothing was stressful. I would give them every solution to every problem. And what he taught me was, I'm not doing them any favors in that. Everybody needs to have their own success, their own failures, their own journey to be strong. And I think that really shifted in our business, that actually I stepped away from that. And some of my amazing coaches, I think Aaron's on here as well, was able to identify that in me and go, I see what you're doing here. I see you're empowering me. Because obviously sometimes you bring people on, you know, more advanced in those areas yourself as well. So he blessed me with that and gave me some questions to ask people where I could really bring people on, where I'd felt I stayed more in the shadow and I just wanted to do everything for people and make it easy. He gave me the gift of actually allowing people their own power. And I think our business is really growing in so many different ways because of that. And then the second event, right? We went twice. So we went to the doTERRA one, and then we went, that was amazing. Let's go again. Let's see what we can learn. And Kev's going to share what we learned more as a couple in that sense. But the main curve for me, this is a different one. And I spent time with Nathan on this one, so he knows this one. But it was really about having permission to fill my own cup was okay, because if I was putting stuff into me, I could be more than a fraction of myself with other people. And I had a very emotional journey with being that and understanding that was okay, and that I actually do work quite hard and I don't really give myself any time within that. So that was a big thing for me. And the second thing probably from the second event was, you get to learn so much from how Devon coaches people. You see him work through so many different scenarios with people, and you'll have all of these people in your teams and in your network of people, in your family. He really took people through quite tricky situations sometimes and really challenged them. But actually what you see is their breakthrough and their realization that the power's within them. And that was really powerful as well to watch that. So I definitely stayed more in the background in the second event and just did a lot of watching, but I did a lot of learning. And some of that made me feel unsafe. You know, some of it was like, wow, these are challenging situations that people are going through. I'm just going to sit at the back of the room and watch this. But actually, I realized taking away from that, I learned a lot about how to coach people. And he really shows really, really key strategies and methods in that. So I took completely different things from the two events, but absolutely recommend going, and absolutely recommend whoever in your group to recommend to go along, because everybody will get something unique, completely unique, that really unlocks stuff in their whole life, as well as the business, which we're passionate about, but in their whole life as well. Feel really strongly about that. There you go.
Cool. I'll be super quick, but I probably wanted to take everyone back to where we were probably a year ago, when Nathan and Beck said about Gamechangers, and first of all said how much it was, and then how long it was, and that gave us two issues. One was having the money, and two was having the childcare. So for those of you who don't know, our daughter has some fairly significant medical needs, and so she needs to have somebody who can do that level of care, effectively medical, administer injection, do it, stuff like that. So that gives us some limited options for childcare. And also there was an introductory call like this one and one that is going to come up. And we were away with no internet connection to even get on that call. So we rock up to a pub with internet and to get to sort of go on this call to decide on whether we've even ready to spend this money on some time that we perhaps haven't got either of. And I'm pretty sure the girls got second pudding because the waitress turned up in the middle of that. And it's just, well, have whatever you want, girls. It was a commitment for us, and I know some of you might be sitting there going, "Oh, you know, it's all right for them," or you know, it's whatever it is. I haven't got the money, I haven't got the time, and I want to make it clear that we didn't really have the money, and we really didn't have the time, and we kind of trusted Nathan and Bex. We trusted our sort of research into Devon and what Bex was saying about how much he earns or is paid by his one-to-one clients is absolutely true, and I figured we're going to get some value out of this, and I know we came to that agreement overall. But just from my perspective, it's like, right, okay, how do we make that happen? And so then we went up, and on the first event, actually during that event, despite having medical care, Ellen got scarlet fever, and so she was in a significant stress level, more dangerous for her, and it is pretty dangerous anyway. And so we were a little bit dragged, but felt we really had to be in the moment. So while we were checking on where she was, we made sure that we were there for the entire event, and it meant we missed some of the evening time, but we didn't miss the event. And I'm kind of only telling you that to impress upon you how important it is for you to be there, and to be there kind of properly, if you like,
as present as you can
be. As present as you possibly can be. We were kind of honoured to have the opportunity, decided to take it, but then the rest of it was up to us, right? That's the case for Nathan and Bex here, and people talking about it. It's up to you. You've got the opportunity, and you can go and take that opportunity, and then it is up to you what you do with it and what you take out of it. And as Ali kind of pointed out, everything will be unique for the individual. Sorry, I've got some notes as well that I'm going to kind of click back to. There was some key bits that everybody got out of it, and I think Al's pointed out. So it's a bit of a mixture. It is an experience, and so it's difficult to describe. There's nothing really to compare it to be able to say, oh, you're going to get something that's like this, because you're not. But there is elements of teaching in there, and there is elements of individual coaching in there. And when he's coaching somebody, you're witnessing that coaching. So it's a safe place for that person. We have to honour that. So we saw some stuff that we can't share and won't share because we made that commitment. But also, when he's coaching an individual, he's encouraging you to think of you in that coaching. So while somebody might be sharing their experience and their answers to the questions, what you're encouraged to do is think about your answers to those questions. And actually, in this last one, there was a moment in there when a guy was being coached on a particular topic that was really, really tough for me, because I know I exhibited that set of behaviour that he was being coached on exactly. So there's stuff in there that you might be not on the pointy end as you might think, but you're still going to get some huge value, and you might well be on the pointy end. So you just need to be aware that that's a possibility, if you like. I think we've talked for long enough, so I don't really want to say too much more. I think there are some clues. If you looked at the Cornwall qualifier list, I think it was 8 or 9 out of the 10 people that qualified were on Gamechangers. And I think that's a clue as to the effect that it could perhaps have on your business. For Ali and I think it's improved and strengthened our relationship. And I think we have a common language over stuff that we didn't always have a common language over. So, and we've all had this experience when we're talking to a partner and we think we're being really clear and they're getting angry with us because they have got no clue what you are on about. Some of that, not all of it, but some of that changes because we now have a common language to talk. And I'm really conscious these days about giving unsolicited advice. But here's some unsolicited advice. If you can make it happen in any possible way, you need to do that. And you will not regret it. You will never look back at that and go, that was a terrible decision. To the point when, like as Al said, when we got the opportunity to go for the second time, we went again. And we'd be going in November, but our son's getting married really selfishly. So we've got to commit that we're going to keep. But so now I'm going to hand you over to the super powerful Nicolette Evans, because I know how amazing she is.
Thank you so much, Ali and Kev. So my experience, I haven't got a team. I'm not a big up there in doTERRA, and my upline invited me to this because she thought I'd get something out of it. She knows I love learning. I've done the oil games, but I keep starting my business, and I'm not consistent. And I'm going to be quite open here about all the things I learned from Gamechangers as well. So my first question was, well, is this for me really? Because top leaders are going to this, people that are really getting going in their doTERRA businesses. So yeah, a lot of comparison as well. But through doing it, actually, it's impacted me as a wife, a mother. It's impacted my business and just my whole actual life. I've just learned so much about myself. And actually, Bex was saying about Devon and the basketball, it's very much couched in those terms. So I've realised now where I wasn't playing all out, and I'm just watching from the sidelines, and I'm just watching life go by. And actually, it was really quite shocking how much I'm a spectator of my life, just not getting in there and getting things done. It is quite uncomfortable. There is nowhere to hide. The people there will know that I was very emotional at the beginning of it. I did not really want to be there. I took a bit of a punt thinking, well, this is good for me. But it was really, I think I also felt a lot of regret that time's gone by and I've not completely immersed myself in things, but it is a very safe space as well. So, he looks after you well, and he noticed me sobbing away, and took the time and was very kind and helped me through that as well. So it's a case of not being afraid as well. And I just thought I'd share a little bit of what I learned about myself, actually, and that just in case this resonates with other people, thinking, is this you? So I learned that I hold back. I play small because I fear rejection. I don't like being seen. So I really don't want to be. I'm noticed by Devon sobbing away, and I compare myself to other people, and that just kills all your joy, doesn't it? You think, oh yeah, they're doing well, and in the end, that just ground me to halt as well. I learned that I'm a terrible listener. I jump in, and I've let my past define me, actually, and I live in that past as well. And so my thoughts took me over and they hold me back. And so I get in my own way, and then I, ironically, for saying I know it all, I then also have this narrative in my head of I don't know enough as well. And these were all the sorts of things that were coming up for me, just to show you, sort of what feelings and, that were coming through. And I think I know that, I'm not the only one maybe that have those feelings as well. But the reason why I did it is because I always felt there's more for me. I've been self-employed before. It didn't work out, maybe the way I wanted it to. I just think there's more in life for having a job and work. I don't want to work, retire, die. And I felt a new approach. I love reading books. I love doing online courses. I've got loads of courses that I haven't done. And I need a different way of doing things. And I just thought, I can't keep starting over. I've just got to find a way to do this, to prove actually probably to my husband as well that actually my doTERRA business is worth being in. So how I've used the experience is, as Kevin Ali said, he coaches you and shares lots of examples and lots of stories and loads of phrases that actually get really stuck in your head as well. So now I'm far more intentional about how I communicate with other people. I try and talk less, be a better listener. I ask more questions. I watch my language as well. I've cut out saying should now. I'm still working on stopping saying try. It's work in progress, isn't it? I'm role modeling this to my children as well. I'm listening to my inner voice and journaling a lot. And I'm also then picking up what my husband says, when he says, should, etc. I'm like, oh, come on, that's not always so helpful. I'm not always so popular with that as well. And I've let go of the comparison, because Gamechangers is such a great leveler. We all have things to work on there, and you'll find that if you do it, you become a community as well. So you have those other people that are going through it with you, and you stay in touch often with them as well. So I found out really who I was at that time. And through the coaching, you also find out who you really want to be as well. So I've realised, for example, that actually although I struggle with visibility, I do want to be seen as a person. So even though I'm shy and introverted, since then I've done a couple of Facebook lives, and I want to say thank you, Bex, for inviting me to do this, because I am being seen, which was one of my big outcomes from that. And also, it's very much, you may have heard people saying in sort of previous calls about being, it's about who you want to be now. And now I've narrowed it down that I only do things that light me up and bring me joy. Because when I'm in a good place, then I've got good energy to bring to work with other people as well. So I've stopped pleasing other people. I'm doing things my way, and I'm only doing things that I enjoy as well. And in the same ways, being more focused and having one conversation at a time and being present and actually not focusing on the outcome, not thinking about my rank, thinking about getting the sale as well, because I know that will come as part of who I'm being as well. And I didn't have the money. It was hard for me to find that money, and but I'm a bit of a slow learner, so it's been percolating all of this and bubbling up, and it's about 7 months now, and I've still got the phrases in my head, and it's actually led me to do coaching with Jessica McLaren, to get some extra accountability. But it's got to a point now that I'm actually completely all in. So I declutter my house. I've pruned my doTERRA tree, and I'm doing a 30-day cleanse at the moment. So I'm going for it this next couple of months as well. But absolutely no regrets at all. Absolute best weekend, and I left in such a good place. As I say, I was sobbing away, but left in a good place. So my advice would be to, in the words of Brené Brown, do it afraid. Just go for it. That's it. I can't remember who's next.
It's me, Nicolette. Thank you. My heart is bursting for you right now, Nicolette. It's absolutely racing. I got to know you in that room, and as I said in my comment, completely fell in love with you then, and I have all over again now. These words are just lighting me up massively. So what Gamechangers did for me was brought me such a clarity. I have a huge amount of passion, and one of my Clifton strengths is achiever and strategic. And I used to get myself in such knots in my head. So what Gamechangers gave me was such a clarity of thought, which has given me a clarity of energy. And that has been everything. Every moment of every day since I left that room, I have focused on what I want. And I've always found that really hard to identify and definitely talk about. In amongst all of the things that I think I should, which I don't say anymore, I never say should, because I question, I'm saying do I want to do it? And if I don't want to do it, I don't bloody do it. I either get someone else to do it or I say no. I found a new ability to say no. I said no to my best friends this week. I said no to earning money this week because it doesn't fit with who I want to be. And I had no idea what any of that meant. Even when I was in the room, if I'm honest, I made some quite quick changes in my mind about what I wanted to feel. And that was peace and gratitude, because I have such a busy creative head. That was something I identified in that room. I wanted peace because I used to get myself really stressed about wanting to do and get on with and achieve and where I wanted to get to, and rank and money and income and success and what my husband thought and what my friends thought. And oh my God, I just wanted peace from that. And I left that room with such clarity on that on the drive home, and it was only about an hour and a half, I made massive, massive decisions in my life about things to change and say no to, things I had made myself overly accountable for because I thought they were part of my identity. One was volunteering and one was a job I was doing, and I just said no to it. And since that day, I can literally track back to the amount of space it has given me. And even then, I didn't really know why I was saying no to it. But because I gave myself that space, it's given me the ability to really start to identify what I do really want. And that has been everything. So it's been an inside out thing for me, making what I want really, really clear in life so that I can aim for it. Because you can be so busy trying to do, and I have been so busy trying to do and achieve what I think I should be doing, and it's absolute tosh because you're never connected to it. And the second you get clear on what it is you actually want, you can aim for it and you can say no to the things that don't take you there. And this is all really general because for me it was. I went there thinking, well, I'm spending £1,000 and my husband thinks it's a ridiculous amount of money and it has to help my business. And so I walked into that room with that expectation and it made me fall apart. I found the weekend thoroughly uncomfortable and thoroughly exhilarating. My husband thought it was the most ridiculous thing he'd ever heard of. He's a finance director, so lives in a very clear-cut world. And I genuinely didn't have the money. I absolutely didn't have the time. I had a 2 and a 7-year-old, 2 and a 6-year-old. I've got a 3 and a 7-year-old. I still don't have the time this year, but I'm going. I still don't have the money, but I'm going, because what it gave me in that room when I drove home and every day since then is an absolute bargain for the money. I promise you, every other piece of personal development I have done before then and since then has told me that what I experienced in that room and what I locked into my heart and what I've been able to access since then and appreciate in others and make a stand for others and cheerlead others is just incredible. The bonding, the community, the support, but mainly for me, it's been the clarity in my thought, which has transferred into the clarity in my energy, which has shown up in my home, love, family, business, everything. Thank you, Karina. Karina sent me a message before this saying, I already love what you're going to say. And that's a really huge part of it because Karina, Debbie and I became huge accountability partners as we left that room. And we chatted so many times in the first few days and lots since. We are each other's cheerleaders and buddies and capped each other with the shoulds and the buts and the needs and the, yeah. So that's brilliant. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now and I'm going to hand over to Amelia, who I knew from afar before being in that room, and I was delighted to be in the room with her. And I feel, yeah, it's another gorgeous connection that I made through saying yes to the experience.
Thanks, Anna. It's really nice to hear everybody relive their experience because it's kind of just making me really excited and remember how brilliant it was. So I'm not in Becky's downline, I'm cross-lined in the big doTERRA picture. So thanks, Becky, for bringing me in to talk to your team. So when Becky invited me to go. As she said, we'd bonded over like an issue with a plane in Budapest. And when you spend kind of 24, 48 hours with somebody like in an airport or in like a crummy hotel room, then you kind of get to see each other at your best and at your worst. And I definitely quickly trusted Becky and her integrity and who she is. So when she asked me to come to Gamechangers, I was like, I kind of just going to go just because Becky said. I didn't really feel like it was for me. I've done a lot of personal development work, and I was like, you know what, I kind of would like to go, but like I'm just going to go because it would be nice, and I'm going to go for Becky. So I went very much reserved, kind of probably quite with some armor up, very much like this is just going to be like a weekend, and it'll be nice, and it's a nice environment, and they've got a spa, and I can go to the thing in the day and then go to the spa in the evening, and blah blah blah. Anyway, it turns out it was actually game changing. It was actually one of the most life-changing 3 days I've ever had. And I was trying to think why and what it was, and it's very, like everybody else, it's very hard to pinpoint specifically, because what it will mean for me is completely different to what it will mean for you. So you'll go for your own reasons, and some of those reasons will be met, you know, and you'll understand why you were there. And some of the things that come through will be completely unexpected, and things that you didn't really even expect to know about yourself, or to discover about yourself or about other people. I think the main thing really is to be in a room with somebody who is living their purpose and being an expression of love so completely and so fully that you can only be totally inspired by being in that environment for 3 days with somebody. So Devon, who leads the whole experience, I don't think I've ever met anybody like him. And I've been around a lot of like spiritual people. I've been around a lot of, you know, really people with a lot of clarity about life, and people who are very loving. But there is something about his way of being that is so fun to be around, so profound and so deep, and he will see you no matter who you are. Even if you go there with the armor up and not prepared to be seen, he will find you, and he will see you, and he will bring out of you what needs to be brought out of you, in, as everybody said, in a very, very safe place. So the first thing really I think you'll get if you choose to go, if you choose to make the investment and go, is you'll get clarity. You'll probably start to understand where it is in your life that you're playing small, or that you're playing not to lose rather than where you're playing to win. You'll understand how you do one thing is how you do everything. You'll also start to understand how, one of Devon's big teachings is how to help you start to understand how your feelings are leaking into your being. So to help you start to understand how your feelings are controlling how you choose to show up in the world. And not to deny our feelings. Of course, we all want to be really in touch and in tune with our feelings, to honor them and to acknowledge them. But you'll be given templates and tools to understand how those feelings don't have to control you, and how you can actually, while feeling a certain way, choose to be a different way. So say you're feeling sad, but it's a particular day when you need to do some calls, or you need to work on your doTERRA business. He will, and the whole experience will give you a template for how to, while feeling sad, still be able to be present and do the work that you need to do on your business. And then the third thing is to understand, I understand it's an investment, it's, you know, grand, it's a lot of money for anyone. And when you make that investment, your commitment level will be higher than it's ever been before if you've never made that level of investment. So to make £1,000 investment, you're going to show up in that. So even though I showed up with armor, I was still like, I'm going to get my money's worth here. You'll show up in that room in a different way to if you just paid £100 a day. You'll show up in a very different way. And you can't really know that until you make the investment. So I can tell you that, and other people will tell you that, but you won't really know it until you put the money down and then turn up on Thursday morning with like, okay, I've made this investment. I'm going to really show up here. What I know about being in doTERRA and just about life is that at some point, you have to take yourself to the next level. So whether that's going to do your first oils class, whether that's going to elite, whether that's premier, gold, whatever it is, the next level that you want to go to, even just to open your account, right? That's a leap, isn't it? When you first got your oils account, at some point you're going to have to make a leap into the unknown in some way. And it might be that this, for many of us, is like a leap into the unknown, but that's what you're going to have to do. You're just going to have to trust all these people are saying, like, go, for a reason. And if any little part of you is like, yeah, I think this is my next step, you'll experience profound change, not just in your business, but in your personal life as well. You'll have less I came away with less procrastination, and with very, very kind of clarity around what it was that I wanted to create in my business and in my life. And it's definitely that's kind of what's evolved in the last however many months it's been since I went. So I hope that's helpful, and I intend to go in November, so hopefully I'll see some of you in the room again. I think it's Corinna next.
Thank you, Amelia. It's lovely to see everybody's faces and hear everybody speaking again. It gives you goosebumps because you could. I literally came away. Well, first of all, when I found out the price of it, I was like, oh my God, I can't afford that. And then I had to sort of battle it out with my husband and managed to find a way. And I just knew I had to be in that room. From seeing Devon speak on the discovery call, within 5 minutes of that call, I was like, okay, this is something I need to take notice of. So I just knew I had to be in that room. I felt called out. I felt seen within 5 minutes of hearing what it was all about. And so at that particular point, I felt kind of stuck in my business. It was kind of after COVID. Some of my team members had sort of quit or just faded away. So I had this kind of stuff going on, and I was like, I need to make something happen. I need some changes. And this was incredible to get the invitation to go to it. I was like, wow, this is like dropped in front of me at the perfect time. And I really didn't know what to expect. So when I got there, I thought personal revelations as well. It was mind-blowing. And from initially thinking, how am I going to afford this? This is a lot of money. I remember so many of us at the end of it saying, this is worth 5 times what we've paid. This has been so incredible. And I would do it again next week. I would do it every month in a way. You know, it was so impactful. And it was wonderful to see all these different characters. And we're all at different stages. And that whole comparison was literally taken out of the equation. Yeah, it was just Devon's energy, as Amelia was saying, was just, he's magnetic. He has this presence and charisma, and it's so inspiring. And I think we just came away from there. I mean, I was somebody who was a bit anti-personal development, actually. I know some of us have said that we were into it, but I was like, I kind of think it's a bit American. It's really, really obnoxious to say it, but I was really sort of like, do I need personal development? It's a bit, you know, out there, but that shows you my mindset. And now I have a coach. I do regular coaching sessions with Jess, who's just incredible. And I would never have met her had it been for Gamechangers. And having Anna and Debbie as my accountability buddies, I'm literally buzzing and I'm smiling so hard right now, because I feel that so many things happened in that space and altered who I am. And I've always been, when I was a kid, I was really painfully shy, hated speaking in front of people. And now I love it. And this has been, I really think Gamechangers has been a benchmark part of me coming out of myself and defining. I think when I went into Gamechangers, I didn't feel I had any proper aspirations or dreams. I literally felt like I kind of have hopes for my kids and stuff, but for me personally, I didn't have anything that was like to aim for. I knew I wanted to keep doing doTERRA, and I really wanted to, you know, pick myself up and do something, change things out. But I really didn't expect that I would be shaken up, I would be changed. And I feel like this has been such a fantastic process. If you're considering any personal development. This is absolutely mind-blowing, and it is better than what we've all described. And, you know, Bex, thank you so much for inviting us. Like, I have the most huge amount of gratitude I feel every day because of what you've started for me. And I just think this is an opportunity. If I can get you 1% of the joy and excitement I feel about that, then, you know, take action. And I think that's something that's really changed. I've quit my part-time jobs. I'm a totally different character because I choose every day to define what I'm going to feel that day. I have my little meditations in the morning, and I have all these systems, and I just loved all of those people in that room. There's so many little aspects, and actually I think, being an empath, I felt so many emotions in that room, but I allowed myself to deal with it differently as well. So it was, the energy was special, and everybody on who's been in Gamechangers has felt that echo, and it's just awesome. I'll stop rabbiting.
Thanks, Karina. You weren't rabbiting. That was lovely, and it's been great hearing everybody's passion coming through. It kind of just reminds me of being in that room and experiencing everything. But I certainly was, like with doTERRA, thinking this is some dodgy thing. It's not going to be any good. Same thing with Gamechangers. I was like, oh, Bex and Nath, they've been totally hoodwinked by this American con man, and they're being forced to do this. But I've trusted them before with doTERRA, and I think it's fair to say they were right. And again, with Gamechangers, they've come through as they do every time. And I think everyone is so grateful to Bex and Nath for putting their neck on the line and really taking a leap of faith to say, we can't really describe it that well, but can you just get £1,000 and come and do this and just trust us, and I just promise you won't be let down. I mean, it's been said before that you'd pay multiple amounts to go, and you really would. Now, when I went, I didn't feel I needed it. I felt like I was on an upward trajectory. I thought I was in a good place. I was saying to Lindsay, yeah, you should definitely go. You definitely need it. You definitely go. But I'm so relieved we went together. Because, as has been mentioned before, it would be difficult to kind of say, oh, I had all this great stuff coming, and not be able to really know what it was like. So I've written down a couple of things that spring to mind. I wrote 32 pages of notes while I was there. On my second page of notes, I put, get Alex there. Now, Alex is my brother. So I was so certain, after just literally a page of notes, that my brother, who I love so much and want nothing but the best for, should be there. And I almost got him there this time. I will get him on the next one. But that in itself tells you how a big impact it was, and how quick I was to see that impact. You'll hear about when you're there being on the court or in the stands, and I think Ali and Kev mentioned about this, about how you can, it's a bit of a wake-up call to see what you're actually on the court about, and that's not very much, and how you're a bit of a bystander in a lot of things. So also for me, who you surround yourself, who talk about who are your starting five, or you may have heard the expression, if you're the cleverest person in the room or the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room. And that again is an eye-opener. Who are we surrounding ourselves with? Who are we uplifting? There's a few other bits about the domino effect, which, if you've ever seen a small domino knock over a slightly bigger one, knock over a slightly bigger one, that is literally what Gamechangers can be for you. It can knock that first domino down. I love the quotes, how you do anything is how you do everything, which Amelia mentioned. It's so true. For us, with our kids, and even with the people that we do doTERRA with, you know, so often I'm so quick to give advice, but actually no one's asking for advice. They just want to be listened to. I think that's really key. I love the saying, God blessed you with 2 ears and 1 mouth to listen more and speak less. So I think that's a really, really good thing for me. knowing what people think of you and how that's none of your business, because I am a people pleaser. I want everyone to like me. And I'm so petrified of sharing anything on social media because it might upset some bloke I haven't spoken to for 25 years that I went to school with, because he might say something. But yeah, I'm willing to do everything else. It's so weird how we can be. And it's so great that this can help you put your best foot forward and take a stand, which for me, on that day, at that time, after Gamechangers, I took a stand. The two things I took a stand for was my weight. And that coincided with Meta Power, which a lot of you will know about. So I was willing to make the sacrifice, really get control of my life and get control of and have a doTERRA story. And that culminated in speaking in front of 6,000 people in Lisbon at convention. So for me, Gamechangers literally attached even bigger rocket boosters to me to help me kind of fly. And that's how I feel now. I feel like I actually don't need to go again. I've still got that momentum and jet fuel that I got from that first one. I know others go because they can take more. What I want to do is to encourage as many people to go to this, because it really is. It's not just a game changer, it's a life changer. People's personal lives, people's relationships, the things with their kids, their parents. There is so much that it can do to change your life. And I love other things, like if you can hate someone you don't know, then you can love someone that you don't know. There's so much gold literally here that he has to share of years and years of meeting with the best coaches in the world. And like we know, it's $200,000 to get this guy. I've started saving. I know Nathan's saving. He'll probably get there first, to be fair, but I'm going to try and catch him. But it's the best investment in yourself, the best investment you can ever make in going. I'm happy even to give you a money back guarantee. If you don't enjoy it, we'll cover. You're like, there's no way it's going to change your life. Like, it just go, be brave, take that first step. And the thing that I just wanted to end with is, again, about taking that stand, not just for you, but for everybody else. And it gives you the power to do that. So thank you so much, Bex, for being so brave. Thank you for, taking on the financial responsibility of doing this. And again, just sharing this from a place of love. And we're so grateful to you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, everyone that shared tonight. I have just been loving just hearing from you all. I'm sure you all have just felt the genuine, heartfelt, like core changing experience. That's what we're trying to get across here. And like they've all kind of said, it's really hard to put into words. And hopefully you've been able to see just a little glimmer of what you can expect by investing in yourself and taking this leap of faith, as we all did, and going to this event if you feel like, this has stirred you. So I'm going to end the call now, because there's just been, everything has been said and it's just been so beautiful. And I invite you to really, go away and really ponder this, rewatch the call, and take a stand for yourself. The biggest thing is it helps you get out of your head. The whole game changer experience, it takes you out of you. So as well as teaching you to put more into you in a good way, it helps to not make you the self-centered limiting factor of why you're not able to serve people, right? So when you can get over yourself and get out of your head in a really positive way, as well as filling yourself up, then you're free to serve everyone. And that's what this life's about, and to have that most fulfilling life that you can have. And so why would you wait? Why would you wait another second for that, right? You wouldn't put that off at all. And this is the gift we wanted to share with you. And I just thank all the speakers tonight. Have just been amazing. Thank you. And it's so beautiful to have been part of your journey with this, as well as you are part of ours. And that's what it's about. It's about being on this journey together. So I put in the chat, there's also a link for Devon's discovery call. So a few people mentioned that. I actually asked him if he could do that again, and he agreed to. So great. So we've got him next Wednesday, I believe it's the 2nd of August at 7 p.m. So if you're seriously thinking about coming to Gamechangers, then please, register on that link. It's a free call, but we'll just want to know who's coming. And if you do want to come on that call, please arrive early. I think you all do anyway. It's usually me that's the latest. But just, you know, that would be good. And we can start off at 7. But thank you so much for staying to the end. I know we went on a bit, and I hopefully you felt it worthwhile. Thank you. Thanks, Jose from Portugal. Mwah. Good night, everyone. Bye.